Hello and welcome to the Commander's Quarters, your Magic the Gathering source that helps you command your budget. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all their support. And also, the Pigs Playing Magic Kickstarter has launched, so make sure you check that out. The Kickstarter campaign is going to last for 30 days, and after that, the playmat will no longer be available for purchase. Hey everyone, Mitch coming in from the Commander's Quarters studio. Welcome to the show. So, Double Masters, Double Trouble, I'm running out of double jokes. But yeah, it's only day 3 of spoilers, and I'm already out of all the double jokes. It's a weird set name. Anyways, regardless, more exciting, valuable spoilers, more exciting art, more exciting, no Wayfarer's Bauble, but that's not exciting. But there's other exciting things going on that maybe Wayfarer's Bauble will be spoiled at some point, let's hope. But yeah, anyways, let's jump into the exciting cards that were spoiled. So first up is, unfortunately, yeah, not Wayfarer's Bauble, but it is Academy Ruins, which is a great reprint. It's a legendary land that taps for a color, so you can pay 1 and tap it to put target artifact card from your graveyard on top of your library. So this is a fantastic utility land that can really help out in artifact decks or top of library kind of manipulation decks. Currently, its price is $27, and it's only been reprinted once up to this point, so with this second reprint, this is probably going to drop its price down quite a bit, and hopefully that's going to allow it to be a more budget-friendly card for some players, or not necessarily budget, but more feasible to add to a couple of decks. It's in 6% of decks currently, and again, that number could definitely rise if that price does drop. Also, this brand new art is really sweet. It's kind of got a Lost City of Atlantis type of feel with Tolarian Academy. At least I believe that's Tolarian Academy at the bottom of the ocean or whatnot. I'm not really a lore person, but I think that's correct, at least by the flavor text. Regardless, very sweet art, a great reprint, and yeah, if your friends got a Mindslaver control deck, good luck facing up against their Academy Ruins Mindslaver combo once this gets reprinted. Moving on, perhaps the best-known Wrath in Magic's history with Wrath of God, and yeah, it's probably the best known since Wraths are kind of like named after Wrath of God with the word Wrath. Anyways, it's a sorcerer for 2 white, and says destroy all creatures that can't be regenerated. So this is kind of the staple board wipe, 4 mana, blow everything up. Can't be regenerated. There's not a ton of creatures out there that have regeneration, but it does stop them from doing that. It won't obviously destroy anything indestructible or whatnot, but it is a fantastic board wipe for just 4 mana, kind of like the standard of a board wipe for most people. It is a $5 card. It's been reprinted quite a bit, I believe, but it still sees play in 15% of decks, even with that price. With this reprint, hopefully that drops it down even further to make it slightly more budget-friendly. I mean, who knows? Maybe its price will drop to the point where even I can use it in a deck. I'm not really counting on that, but you never know. Anyways, brand new art on this one as well, though we don't see a borderless version of it, so I'm not sure if it's going to be a box stopper, but I'm sure there's going to be plenty of Commander players out there that are going to be looking to add this into their deck. But now let's move on to another heavily played card in Commander with Crop Rotation. That's an instant for a green. It says an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a land, search your library for a land card, put that card onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. So this one sees play in landfall decks. It sees play in kind of any deck that really has specific lands you want to get. If you've got Gaia's Cradle in your deck, you're probably running this because you really like getting your Gaia's Cradle out because it's kind of a good card. Or if you got your Mindslaver out and you want your Academy Ruins, have fun with that as well. I mean, everyone's got their own thing. Again, not only does this tutor for a land, but it also puts it into play untapped, which is huge for some of those really powerful lands that come into play and you want to use right away. Now, as for its price, its current price is only around $1 because it's actually been reprinted quite a few times recently in Commander 2020 as well as Mystery Booster, so even though it sees play in 10% of Commander decks, it still has a price that's reasonable, and that price is just going to drop even further with this reprint. And this actually displays some new art on this one as well, so this is a borderless version. It's got some really cool art with looking like a tree walking around and making some things grow or whatnot. So yeah, not exactly a high value reprint, but again, it is a card that sees a lot of play in Commander, so I'm sure Commander players are just going to be happy to see its price drop even further. And again, yeah, happy about having that new art option as well. But now let's move on to Council's Judgment. It's a sorcerer for 1 white, and it says, Will the Council. Starting with you, each player votes for a non-land permanent you don't control. Exile each permanent with the most votes or tied for the most votes. So essentially, everyone has to vote for something to go away, except they can't pick things that you have. And then if things are tied, multiple things get taken out. And if nothing's tied and one thing's ahead of everything else, then just that gets taken out. So this can definitely be a fun political card to help you get the things taken off the board that you want taken off the board if you can convince others to help you out. Now, currently this card is $10, and I believe that's because it's from Conspiracy, and that set didn't have that big of a print run, at least to my knowledge. Again, I'm not MTG Finance, but I believe that set didn't have that high of a print run, so if a card was slightly in demand, its price got inflated pretty quickly. Currently sees play in 2% of Commander decks, but again, that could definitely change once this price drops down quite a bit. And again, this card has some awesome new art, so if you are that kind of political player that really likes Council's Judgment and likes this new art, then this might be the art and the card for you. But let's take a turn into a slightly less friendly card with Meddling Mage. Yay, everyone's favorite Meddling Mage, a 2/2 human wizard that costs white-blue. When it comes into play, you choose a non-land card name, and then spells of the chosen name can't be cast. So, let's say that you're playing your Feldergriff deck, and you're just walking along playing Feldergriff, and then someone's like, Meddling Mage, I name Feldergriff. Then you can't cast Feldergriff. That's Meddling Mage, yay, fun times for all. But in all seriousness, this card really isn't that big of a deal. It only sees play in 1% of decks. There are players who don't necessarily like to play against these types of cards. It is on a creature, so you can usually have ways to get rid of it. And it can only stop one kind of card, from being cast, actually. So it's a $3 card currently. Its price should drop a little bit. I don't think its percentage is going to increase because the price drops, though. And again, this does have some pretty sick and unique new art. So yeah, if you're a Meddling Mage fan, go for it. And next up, kind of along the same lines, if you love stacks, you're going to love Trinisphere. Trinisphere is an artifact that costs 3, and as long as it's untapped, each spell that would cost less than 3 mana to cast costs 3 mana to cast. So basically, if your spell is going to cost 1 in a black, instead it costs 2 in a black. Basically, it kind of makes you pay 3 mana no matter what your spells that you're casting. So any kind of a deck that's low to the ground, like a Spellslinger deck or a Storm deck, is probably going to hate this card when it's in play. But not too many decks play. It's only currently in 1% of decks, and I don't think that's entirely because of its price. Currently, it's $32, and yes, that price is going to drop with this reprint, but I don't think that percentage of decks is really going to go up all that much because, again, it's a stacks card or a stacks type effect, and not too many players enjoy really playing with that. There are players that do, and for those players that want to play a Trinisphere, great, now it's cheaper for you, and those players that don't, it's fine that it's a card. Next up, let's move on to a non-stacks piece and a non-problematic card, at least in Commander, with Vengevine. Vengevine is a 4/3 elemental with haste that costs 2 green. It says whenever you cast a spell, if it's the second creature spell you've cast this turn, you may return Vengevine from your graveyard to the battlefield. So in Commander, this can just be a good value card. If you can mill yourself and then cast some creatures, you get this out for free, and then you can maybe sack it and then get it back again. There are different ways that you can use and abuse this, but it's actually kind of more of a value reprint for Modern or other formats, I believe, that can really abuse this and get it out on turn. Essentially 0 or whatnot. But anyways, it sees play in currently 0 to 1% of Commander decks, so not too many. It might be partially due to its price being around $10. But again, this might be a good card for a mill deck, a deck that's looking to mill, cast creatures, maybe like a Sidisi deck or whatnot. Yes, that price should drop from $10 down to a slightly more reasonable amount. I believe this is going to be its 5th printing ever, so yeah, it should drop down at least a little bit, and maybe it would go up from 0% to a slightly higher number than 0 as number of decks that see play. But now let's move on to the final reprints for today with the cycle known as the Filter Lands, or Filter Duels, or whatever you want to call them. They filter things. Anyways, Graven Cairns, Wooded Bastion, Firelit Thicket, Mystic Gate, and Sunken Ruins all essentially do the exact same thing, but for different colors. So let's just use Sunken Ruins as an example. It taps for colorless, or you can pay Dimir and tap it to add blue-blue, blue-black, or black-black. So essentially, you use one of 2 colors, and it can tap for any combination of 2 of those colors, if you kind of understand what I'm saying. Anyways, when it comes to price, this cycle is actually kind of strange because 4 of them have actually only been printed once in Shadowmoor, and then Graven Cairns, or however you say that one, has actually been printed 3 times, first starting off in Future Sight, and then in Shadowmoor, and then in Iconic Masters. So that one's got 3 printings, which is why its price is around $6, and the other ones are around $20 to $30 because they've only been reprinted once. And for those of you about to comment about the Zendikar Expeditions, those don't count. Come on, be reasonable. Regardless, hopefully this recycle being reprinted drops their prices quite a bit. I mean, currently they see play in 5 to 13% of decks. I imagine that's going to go up once these become more affordable. And with that, this show is coming to a close, so it's my turn to hear from you. So let me know in the comments below which of these cards you're most excited about. What new art are you most excited about? And let me know if you think that Wayfarer's Bauble is actually going to be in Double Masters, or if it's actually going to be in Commander Legends, or if they're ever going to reprint it ever. Wizards, Wayfarer's Bauble, reprint it. Thank you. Anyways, as always, thanks again and have a good one.